me now, Iowa representative and very good friend of the show and mine, Congressman Steve King. Congressman, man, you know, it just goes on, and here Senator Coburn comes out with his annual list, and you'd think that the things would be becoming less outrageous from year to year, but it doesn't seem to be that way.
It sure doesn't seem to be that way. It's one thing after another, and some of them find themselves into the annals of the lore, such as the Bridge to Nowhere. That's something everybody understands what that is now in the country, and now we have another appropriation to a different Bridge to Nowhere in Alaska built into this. People remember this, but we're at a time when, and I've said this about our presidential candidates, Eric, is that they have yet to really put this message into the hearts and minds of the American people of how big the trouble is that we are in. This $28 trillion in national debt that was projected becomes $26 trillion with the debt ceiling deal. The projection of balancing the budget in 26 years under the House Republican budget, the Ryan budget, now it balances the budget exactly at the stroke of never. We cannot go on for 10 years, let alone never, without balancing this budget, and this is some of the waste.
Right, but Congressman, you know, and again, this was huge over the summer when we were talking about the debt crisis, the balanced budget amendment. It was so important, so important. What are the odds that you, being one of the most fiscally responsible congressmen in the United States Congress, what are the odds that you or a group of you guys get together and really get a balanced budget amendment? That's really what it takes to wipe out some of these unbelievably ridiculous spending earmarks and jokes of programs that seem to be just plentiful in D.C.
Well, Eric, one of the things is that with this balanced budget that we took up in the House several weeks ago that was voted down, I think every Republican voted for it. It took a two-thirds majority, of course, to send it over to the Senate, where we hope the Senate would take it up. That was the weakest of the balanced budget amendments. That was the one that did not have the cap of 18% of GDP and didn't have a supermajority to raise taxes. And still, almost every Democrat voted no on that. I think that this is a different configuration of Congress than existed in the middle 90s when they nearly passed a balanced budget amendment, did so in the House, and it failed in the Senate by a single vote. This is a more polarized Congress. It's hardcore leftist liberals in the House of Representatives and to a lesser extent probably in the Senate, and it's pretty good solid conservatives on the other side of the aisle. I don't think we get to a balanced budget amendment unless we elect a president who receives a mandate from the American people, but that candidate has got to run this thing up the flagpole at every stop across the nation.
Is that the most important piece of this puzzle, or is it turning the Senate over to the Republicans? Would that do it?
I think turning the Senate over to the Republicans doesn't do it either, because it takes a two-thirds majority to pass the balanced budget amendment. If we win the Senate as Republicans, and I think it was Rick Santorum that said it doesn't matter unless you also defeat Barack Obama.
Right.
I would agree with that analysis. We must do that. The will does not exist in this Congress, and the leadership to push that will doesn't exist in this Congress today to get this done without a president, in my opinion.
Congressman, I appreciate having you on. By the way, I took a lot of heat for calling the Muppets anti-business. Now we find out Sesame Street for Pakistan. I'm not even going to go there, sir. Let's just leave it at that, sir.
Just join the politically incorrect club and have a Merry Christmas, Eric.
Merry Christmas to you as well, sir.